Hello! So today is a cool day because I finally managed to resell my knitting machine that was taking up all this space, and I can't recognize my office anymore. It feels like it's doubled in size. It's also a great day to go through and declutter or reorganize some of the things that I have just been leaving neglected, and so I thought I might film that process and go through this 3 boxes of swatches or maybe there's even some projects that I've forgotten about, and tidy that up. I will put all the swatches I want to keep in the box next to me, and I'll put all the projects or things I want to rip out in a pile in front and deal with that later. And then if there's another category, I'll just make another pile. But as I was going through them, I just remembered the project that I was considering when I was working with the yarn. So I thought it would be fun to just make a recording of it. So here I have a swatch of what then became the La Grace vest that was published in the Rhubarb magazine last October. So that is made with Life in the Long Grass DK. So these are definitely things I want to keep in my swatch box. Here is the Eternum sweater swatch that I want to keep as well. Not too big of a swatch. Oh, very recent. This is the Yoke Meditation Series 3 Yoke swatch that I'm also keeping. I'll put it in a special colorwork swatch. Oh, this is the swatch where I was trying out whether color dominance was a real thing or not, and it turned out to be that it is a real thing, because these ones, contrast color is more dominant than here. I hope you can see. So from after having done this swatch, I changed my colorwork style. This is me trying out yarn for the Song of the Moon sweater. Yeah, this is the Yama yarn actually. I was just trying out to see which needle size would be the best for me to use with this yarn, so I'm keeping that too. This is me trying out a heel construction, very enlarged heel, and I'm using honeycomb brioche here, and I think I used this to swatch the construction, but that later became the Rhubarb and Custard socks, which uses this honeycomb brioche in the heel flap. That was fun, so I'll keep that. Ooh, here is a swatch from what became the collar in the Terra Sonata top, also published in Rhubarb magazine and recently released as an individual. This is me trying out some yarn. I think this is wool decanted DK, vintage DK, and that eventually led to the design and release of the Met Tennis Pullover. Oh, and this is a swatch for the Smilgas Cardigan, where I'm using my Huntspan and Wild Atlantic Yarns wool. Keeping that. Oh my goodness, this is something that never happened. Worsted weight colorwork swatch for a design I was considering to use with the Spin Cycles Trine and Dream State, but that never materialized. I know what this is. I went to, during Unravel Festival last September, I believe, I went to a workshop on the Estonian technique called Rusimine. by Alex Bird, and I really enjoyed that, and this was my swatch that I was working during the workshop. So keeping that, it looks like the rest of it is actually yarn. How cool, finding yarn in my swatch box. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here is of course a thing that was recently released on my Wildcat Sweater, which is an all over tiger print sweater, and yeah, that's staying. Here is a beanie from my first hand spun yarn that I actually, I was trying out a construction that turned out not to be that unique because so many people had already thought of it, for a hat in fingering weight yarn, and I didn't have enough to make the hat longer, so it turned out quite short, so that's why no one's wearing it, and I'll keep it in my swatch box. Oh my goodness, this one, I think I was testing, I was testing the smallest size of my friend Kate's design for the Rhubarb magazine. It was published in the first issue of the Rhubarb magazine. It's a round yoke with a very nice lace collar. Can't really show you. So yeah, I think I got to sleeve separation, and because the gauge is so tiny, I knew that I was gonna, get bored of it, and that goes into my rip out pile. Getting so tangled here. Okay. Oh wow, so this is the Yoke Meditation Series number 1. Eventually I ended up using different yarn, but it was still hand spun as the contrast color. And this is a swatch where I was trying out this really tinsely yarn for a cardigan that got published in Rhubarb magazine last October. It looks like a Christmas decoration. Oh, one more swatch from the La Grace Vest project. And oh yeah, this is a swatch that I made for a submission, and it was published in Brooklyn's Tweed collection last year as the Spalding sweater. This is not the yarn that I used for the actual sweater, that was Brooklyn Tweed yarn, but this was to show the construction. That was a raglan half brioche pullover with shawl collar or something like that. And here I was just trying out some lace stitches for some summer tops. Not sure I need to keep this. Yeah, this doesn't look like worth keeping. And some more lace stitches for the Rhubarb magazine top that eventually resulted in it. And I've actually bothered binding this off. And I love the bind off here as well, so I'll keep that. And I have no idea why I've created this, but it's got pretty cable, so I'll keep that. Oh, I know this one. This one was meant to become this sweater. Well, I've got the back of it to the separation, but I stopped working on it because I've actually even picked up stitches for the front shoulder. But what I was struggling with is writing the pattern in multiple sizes, because for each size the different cables are placed somewhere else, and there's different number of stitches between the cables, and I wasn't in the headspace to figure it out, so I think I will just rip this and make another project one day. Oh, okay. I was practicing some cables with some, yeah, don't remember. Oh, I know, I think I was gonna make a sweater with this, and then not so long after I noticed that some other designer had just released a sweater pattern that uses this exact cable from one of the famous cable books. So that's that decided it for me. Oh my goodness. So here is my original idea for what became the 1001 Suns sweater in spin cycle yarns. Of course I'm using different yarns and it looks bigger, but yeah, that was the idea swatch. And I still haven't actually this is the idea that I'm planning to release at some point, make a sweater for it, but I haven't gotten around to it. So I'll keep that somewhere on top of the swatch book so I remember that I have to. And then here is the biggest swatch I've ever made, I think, for Med Tennis Pullover, because I needed to try and see how 2 pattern repeats would look together. And yeah, so I made almost a sweater. And okay, so here's the original swatch for the sweater that I'm working on right now, called the Fire Lily sweater. This is the swatch for the chart, not the actual yarn that I'm using for that, but it is here. And here is the idea swatch for what became the Song of the Moon sweater. I think the actual sweater is much prettier because it uses higher contrast colors. Talking about the 1001 Suns, because when I when I got the yarn, I had to try again with the real yarn, and it looks, I fell in love with how it looks from the first moment. So that's again the 1001 Suns sweater. Random swatches with some yarn. I think this is knitted and held with a lace weight for a cable project that I have absolutely no idea where I've put. Oh, and this is the original swatch for the Amber Blossoms sweater that was released last year. Oh my goodness. The original swatch for the Austrasquarks pullover that was also released last summer using Primrose yarn. And this is some other color work practices on the Latvian side of things that never amounted to anything yet. How funny. I'm wearing the thing for which this was a swatch. I tried out all sorts of various stitch patterns. Can't really show you. And then in the end I picked what I picked. So I'll keep those. More cable swatches from the Graced Vest. This is obviously a project that should probably be ripped and made into something else. My goodness, oh my gosh, I know what this is. This is me trying the Drops Air yarn on my classy Cardi for a knit along, I think, but I got to here. It feels okay, it feels nice, but I remember I didn't really like knitting with this yarn. It felt very unsliding along the needles. Don't know what I was doing here, but it's the motif from the 1001 Suns yoke. And yeah, I had tried Lopi for color work, and then never really made anything with it because it was too scratchy for me. Oh, this is a swatch for what became the Snuggle Puddle vest, designed by my daughter. Nice. No idea. Oh yeah, this is the same, the Rada magazine Terra Sonata top, where I'm testing out the full concept of how the collar would sit on top of the sweater and how I would cast on and bind off and join. So yeah, that's definitely worth keeping. One of my first baby design swatches. Oh, familiar. So this became the Clotted cream pullover. I've tried a few stitches on there and pretty much used the ones that I tried from the get-go. Oh no, I lied actually. I could see there's more in that yarn. I don't know what that is. Doesn't look like anything. I should probably rip that out. This is so tangled now.